Positive Learning and Division D Governor Eugene Kowalski.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You guys can do better than that. Come on. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. Thank you. Now I think that some of you are awake. I know I wasn't when I started this morning. Okay. Let the contest begin.
Yeah.
Is everybody ready? The purpose of the Table Topics contest is to provide an opportunity to learn by observing the more proficient speakers who have benefited from their Toastmasters experience, to encourage development of impromptu and extemporaneous speaking skills, and to recognize the best as encouragement to all. In the interest of time, we will conduct a contest using the same procedures as Toastmasters International uses in conducting the International Speech Contest. The judges, contestants, and functionaries and sergeant of arms have fully been briefed to the rules. Is that true?
Yes.
All right, just checking, making sure. The contestants have been informed of the location of the timing lights or the timing cards, as the case may be. And can we have a check of the timing cards? There'll be no photography during the contest. The sergeant at arms are instructed to close the doors and not to admit anyone while the speakers are giving their presentations. Kindly turn off all your cell phones and noise-making devices. We already heard that from our sergeant at arms. Thank you. Timers, please make a final check of the timing cards. It's in the script. Protests are limited to judges and contestants. The decisions of the judges are final. Announcement to the result is final. The Table Topics contestants have drawn their positions. If I got this right, the first position is Mike Hughes. Second is Stephen Morgan. Third is Erika Benfield. Fourth is Ernst Urbanchek, right? 5 is Julia Kaufman. 6 is Diane Manikowski. And 7 is Suzanna Letchford.
Can you do that again? That was number 5?
No, the agenda.
Is it number 8?
I am a great. Number 1 is Mike Hughes. Number 2 is Stephen Morgan. Number 3 is Erika Benfield. Number 4 is Ernst Urbanchek. Number 5 is Julia Kaufman. Number 6 is Diane Manikowski. And number 7 is Suzanna Letchford. Is that clear? All contestants will be given the same topic. When the contest begins, the sergeant at arms will escort the contestants, except for the first one, which is Mike Hughes. The topic is then read to the first contestant and will speak for that topic for 1 to 2 minutes, right? Okay. There will be 1 minute of silence between the contestants and the judges to make their ballots. During that time, you will quietly enter and leave the room. Please do not talk during this time. At the conclusion of the contest, the ballot counters will collect the judges' ballots. Timer will deliver their report to the chief judge. Are the timers ready? Sergeant at arms, please escort the contestants, except number 1, to the waiting area.
Sorry.
Come on, y'all. Step back. Step back.
Here. Here you go. You're welcome. Actually, so this is that's all.
Hey, Carrie. See if Nancy wants to be a ballot counter. See if Nancy wants to be a ballot counter.
Important stuff.
Priority stuff.
Thanks, Julia.
Yes.
Have all the contestants, except for number 1, left the room? Cool. Can we start our 1 minute of silence, please? Thank you. May the fun begin. Our first contestant, Mike Hughes. Why me? Why me, Mike Hughes?
Is that just anything, or? Morning, everyone. Why me? Why did I get chosen to give this table topic? I personally have no idea. But the funny part is I'm going to do it. But why am I doing this? Because I chose. It's my first time here at Table Masters as an official member, so I'm kind of excited about it, that I can come in here and practice as to why me. Now, with that being said, one thing I really wanted to discuss was being nervous up here. Why am I nervous up here? I have nothing to be afraid of. I came here in a car that probably statistically could have killed me, but I thought I didn't get killed. I'm here. So why me? Why am I nervous? I'm not. Because the sun rose this morning, I'm feeling good. I woke up out of bed, got a cup of coffee. I think we're all feeling better about that, right? So why me? Why did I choose to do this? Because I wanted to. Because I want to practice. I want to feel what it's like to be in front of a crowd. And one day be, eventually, a Master Toastmaster. Because I think that's a great honor to have. Thank you.
May we have a minute of silence, please, on the clock? Timers. And will you please let the Sergeant at Arms know that we're ready for the next speaker? Sergeant at Arms, please.
Where is it?
Contestant number 2.
Contestant number 2, Stephen Morgan. Why me? Why me, Stephen Morgan?
Why me? I had to get up so early this morning, and I had to get myself set because I had not just the president's role, I had the sergeant at arms role. I had to go and bring all the stuff in because I had all the stuff. Our sergeant at arms not around, and the president has to be that back up. So I guess I asked for it. It's not really a surprise, is it? Everyone here had to get up that early this morning, and I'm sure you're all asking why me right now. If not, I'm wondering how much coffee you've had. Hopefully you like it. It's free, it's available. But it's a question that we all ask for a variety of reasons. Why me when things happen? Could be that you find yourself asking that question all the time when something goes wrong. Get into a car accident, something bad happens to you, and you're going, why did that happen to me? Does anyone ask that question when something good happens to you? When you happen to get a promotion, a raise, you win the lottery, any of those unexpected things. Do you hear any of those people saying, why me? Most people go, oh, I deserve that. If you deserved it, then of course all the good things come to you. But does that mean that you never deserve the bad things that come to you? We all make mistakes. We all have successes and we all have failures. Some of us that get up here today are going to feel we've had a success. And some of us who get up here today to talk are going to feel like we've had a few failures. But I still keep getting up. And although I may wonder, why me when something goes wrong? I do also try to remember sometimes when I see my wife, when I see my children, why me? Where did I get so lucky along the way? What did I do to deserve that? Maybe it's because me. Contest master.
Timers, can we have a minute of silence, please? And can the Sergeant-at-Arms let the folks know that we're ready for number 3?
Contestant number 3. Erika.
Thank you, Ernst. Contestant number 3, Erika Benfield. Why me? Why me? Erika Benfield.
Thank you, Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Why me, you ask? I asked myself that very same question about 15 years ago. I was a pregnant teen. At that time, I was led to make a choice to either give my child up for adoption or to raise my child. And I actually was married and in love, so I chose to fulfill my dream of having a family and thinking that I knew everything there was to do about raising a child. 5 years after my marriage, I found myself in a predicament where I had to change my path. And I had to go through very difficult heartache. The kind of heartache that I don't know many people that could encounter, such as working in front of the store where my replacement was facing me every day, going to school, working 50 hours a week, picking up my child at 11 o'clock or midnight, carrying him up 3 flights of stairs, only to wake up at 5 in the morning and do it again. Fast forward 18 years later, I am now motivating and assisting others and helping them get through it and be an inspiration. This weekend I've been asked at a local high school to be a judge. And I moved beyond words because now I went from someone that could be frowned upon to being an inspiration. So when you ask yourself, why me? Just know that God has a plan for what is meant for you to do in life. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Can we have a minute on the clock and timers, please? Contestant number 4, Ernst Urbanchek. Why me? Why me, Ernst Urbanchek?
Why me? Wow, what a wonderful day. Where would you want to be at Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock? You could be playing out golf, you could be running, you could be watching television, having coffee with your wife. So why me? Why do I have to be here? Now this brings me to the presidential 1992 debate where Ross Perot was running as the third candidate, and his vice president was asked a question, and he was standing there like a deer in a headlight, wondering, what is this all about? What was the question? Why me is because I chose to be here today to talk about a subject which is very concerning to me. It's about the perils of life. The opportunity, a peril for you, for people who don't know, is the possibility that you can get hurt or injured or killed, and some harm can happen to you, such as an injury, pain, or a loss. A peril, you should be prepared for that because it can happen at any moment. Perils happen to me, perils will happen to you. So think about how to prepare for perils, such as, do you have a living will so you don't have to live for 20 years as a vegetable being controlled by someone else? Or number 2, do you have a life insurance policy that if you do get injured or hurt or killed, your family is being covered? Or number 3, health insurance. Not because of the Obamacare Act, because it's a good idea to have it. And then you have to have disability insurance, so if you do get injured, you don't have to live in some state-run facility for the rest of your life. Why me? Is because I have taken care of these things, and I want to be the person who challenges you to go out and get these policies as well. Mr. Toastmaster.
Timers, may we have a minute on the clock, and please let the contestant know. Thank you, timers. Our 5th contestant, Julia Kaufman. Why me? Why me, Julia Kaufman?
Thank you, Mr. Master Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. By looking at the faces of my competitors, I understand. Why me? Why me? Why me did I get that question? Why me? Why not? I ask myself that question a lot. When I'm in doubt of myself and my confidence, I think about, why not me? Why can't I win the lotto? One person has to win it. Why can't it be me? Why can't I be the president of the company? He aspired to be that. Why not me? When I started work my focus was on work and growing my career. I went to school, I had aspirations, not specifically what I wanted to be in terms of title. I just know I wanted to do something and do it well. I wanted to be proud of myself. So I started my path, and I started working at a bank, and then I progressed to working in the publishing field. At the same time, I started going to school, and after 10 years, I got my degree. Now, let me tell you about my degree. Someone told me when I was in high school, I wasn't going to do it. Couldn't afford it. You're not going to get your degree. Your family doesn't have any degree. And I looked at them, and that made me think, you're wrong. I can do. Why not me? I'm smart. I'm capable. I may not have the money, but I can get that degree. You watch me. Why me? Why not me? And I did. It took me a long time, but I sure got it. At the same time, I'm on my career path. And I started in data entry, working up, went into customer service, went into management, switched jobs, started working at Scholastic. And that, as I progressed, I kept thinking about why not me? Why can't I be the director of international support? And to this day, I am the director. Why not me? Because I am who I am, and I can do it. Thank you, Mr. Congressman.
Timers, we have a minute on the clock, please. We'll let the next contestant know, please. Our sixth contestant, Diane Manikowski. Why me? Why me, Diane Manikowski?
Master, contest master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Why me? That has been the story of my life for a very long time. I thought I was on the road to great things in my life. I met my husband in college. I was a teacher, teaching the deaf. Everything was wonderful, blissful. I had a great marriage, a wonderful life. My mother died when I was young, then my father died when I was young. And I would say, why me? Why did that happen to me? Why? Of course, it takes a long time to figure out why do things happen? Why do bad things happen to good people? But I do feel that I learned many, many things from it. I became stronger. I learned to be more independent. My husband and I had a nice life. My children and I were doing great. And we moved down to Florida. My husband went into the hospital for an operation and never came out. It was a very simple thing. There was nothing wrong with him, and he developed a pulmonary embolism. That was the day that I said, why me? I had to put my husband on life support system and wait for his end. My young children were, my twins were 9, they had just turned 9. My youngest one had just turned 6. And I thought, why me? But then I remembered all the why me's before that. And I said, you can do this, Diane. You have to be strong, you have to be brave, and you have to show your children that you can do anything, that you can make it and you can succeed in life no matter what happens to you. And so I held my head up high and I told my children, it's going to be okay. I told my husband, you're released. I promise you I will do the best I can for my children. I promise that your children will be wonderful, and I lived up to that promise. My husband died at, about 10 days after we took him off life support. I was widowed at 39. My children are now 27, and 23, and they're all successful. And that is why me doesn't fit into my life. Thank you very much.
Can we have a minute on the clock, please, members? Thank you. Our seventh contestant, Suzanna Letchford. Why me? Why me, Suzanna Letchford?
Seventh? Really? Why me? Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, guests. Why me? Why do I always I draw first or seventh? Those are the hardest ones. And I miss all the good speeches ahead of time. Why me? Sometimes I think, why me? Why did this happen to me? But then it's funny because I look back at some of the why me's that I had in my past. Why me? Why did I lose that job? Why me? Why did I get that amazing job right afterwards that led me to the next thing in my life, and then the next thing? Why me? Why did I get in that car accident? It was really bad. Well, why me? Why did that completely change the path of my life and bring me to stand before you all today with my own business in a better direction than I was at the time? Why me? Why number 7? Because this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be number 7 today. I'm supposed to get this question from you. I'm supposed to be in front of all of you today. Thank you for making it me.
Can we have 2 minutes of silence? Timers. The judges are instructed to complete their ballots. Make sure you sign them, otherwise it's all for naught. Put them in their envelopes and hold them up for collection by the ballot counters. The timers will deliver their report to the chief judge. Speech contest is to provide an opportunity for the speakers to improve their speaking abilities, to recognize the best as encouragement to all, and to provide an opportunity to learn by observing the more proficient speakers who have benefited by their Toastmasters experience. In the interest of time, we will conduct the contest using the same procedure as the Toastmasters International uses in conducting the International Speech Contest. The judges, contestants, and functionaries and sergeant-at-arms have been fully briefed on the rules. The contestants have been informed of the location of the timing lights and the designated speaking area. There will be no photography during the contest. The sergeant-at-arms are instructed to close the doors and not to admit anyone while the speakers are giving their presentations. Again, if you turn your cell phones on or any noise-making devices, please turn them off at this time. timers, please make a last check of the timing cards. Protests are limited to the judges and contestants. The decision of the judges are final. Announcement of the result is final. The contestants have drawn their speaking order. The speaking order is as follows. Suzanna Letchford. Number one, yes. Contestant number 2, Stephen Morgan. Contestant number 3, Julia. You know, we have to have a laugh sometimes. And it's just a good thing that I can provide those to you this morning. Why me? Okay. Are we ready to begin? Timers. Can we have a minute of silence, please? On the clock. Thank you. Our first contestant, Suzanna Letchford. 4 letters. 4 letters, Suzanna Letchford.
Letters. 1 word. So small, yet so devastating. As Dr. Blanton put it, fear is the most subtle and destructive of all human diseases. Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, guests, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of being laughed at? Are you afraid of letting someone down? Are you afraid of failing? And how is that helping you now? Fear comes to us in a good way. For example, last week, my tooth. I bit down on an almond, which I love almonds, and I bit down and it hurt. Thought, there's something wrong with my tooth. So of course, I do what we all do. I did it again, and it hurt again. Glutton for punishment. So what do? I start chewing on the other side and call my dentist. There's something wrong with my tooth. I have to come in as soon as possible. We can get you in 2 days. Great, I'll take it. 2 days. So I chewed on the left side of my mouth for 2 days so I would not hurt that tooth. I was afraid of the pain. And that's good because my body was telling me, don't hurt the tooth more. I'm giving you pain to protect you. So I kept chewing on the left side of my mouth. Saw the dentist, nothing's wrong with the tooth. X-rays are fine, nothing to be afraid of. My gum was probably just irritated. I can chew as many almonds as I want. I am still chewing on the left side of my mouth out of habit now because I'm stuck with this fear that I have instilled in my head that is no longer valid. We start with these fears, but then we keep them when they're no longer useful to us. Don't, shouldn't, can't. Who told you that? And why are you still believing that? Fear comes in many different forms. Fear comes in pain. Fear comes in anger, worry, need, Want, safety, shame, avoidance, pride, stress. Fear comes in so many different emotions. It's hidden underneath all of these, and we carry them with us. I carried these with me. I was afraid coming here today. I was afraid, what if they don't like my speech? What if they don't like what I have to say? What if they don't like me? They might not. Maybe you don't. But I'm tired of carrying this. I refuse to carry that anymore. And I'm going to make a different choice. I choose different fears. What am I afraid of now? I am afraid of mediocrity. I am afraid of letting myself down. I'm afraid of complacency. These fears move me forward. These fears drive me. I wake up in the morning and I think, I cannot let myself down. That is the worst thing I can do, and that gets me out of bed. So what fears are you choosing? What are you afraid of? Marianne Williamson has the most beautiful quote. It is not fear of inadequacy. It is the fear that we are more powerful than we know. It is our light, not our darkness, that is the most fear. Don't be afraid of what is powerful inside of you, and choose fears that move you forward. Be afraid. Be afraid every single morning. Wake up terrified. Wake up afraid of letting yourself down. Wake up afraid of being okay with just what it is right now. Wake up scared out of your mind of not becoming who you're supposed to be. Choose a fear that moves you forward. Be afraid. Be terrified. Each of these fears that we hold on to, that no longer serve us, need to go. And the choice is yours. Are you going to be who you are now, or are you going to become who you are meant to be? Be afraid and choose a new fear. What are you afraid of?
Timers, can we have a minute on the clock, please?
Time.
Our second contestant, Stephen Morgan. Shine, shine, Stephen Morgan.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Who is this? It's David's unresponsive! Kelly's call 911! Stop. I'm on my way. From the back seat, my son Richard, 10 years old, piped up. Dad? Who was that? It's David's roommate, Liz. Something's wrong with him. I'm going there as soon as I drop you off at school. I drove over, fearing what I'd find. And what I saw was the ambulance leaving, slow and silent. The brilliant light that had been shining through my darkest night had been extinguished. Alone in the middle of the night, the age of 32. David, this one's for you. A room full of Toastmasters that have to listen politely for 5 to 7 minutes. I know you loved it. That shined through in your humorous speech about your prosthetic leg. Oh, the puns. You had 2 left feet. It cost you an arm and a leg. How you'd give your left leg for a better parking space. I loved how you compared it to a pet. Sleeping with it, taking it for walks, always finding it underfoot. But the best was how you illuminated the government's ineptitude by reading the letter rejecting your disability claim because your condition was only temporary. Summer 2011, you emailed Safe Words Toastmasters and told us that you were going to miss the meeting because you were in the hospital. You had no one to help you, and I believe no one should be that alone. So I brought my family in to visit, and there we discovered a shared passion for board games, especially Settlers of Catan, which of course I won. But David, you got a thrill from finding someone who could beat you. So we would play game after game, day after day, and you would come oh so close and fall short. Months later, the moment finally arrived. You beat me. And you jumped up hollering and cheering and gloating. David, it's a good thing we had a lot more in common than just our dominant competitive natures. We had similar, though strange, outlooks on life and relationships. We had shared passions for hypnosis, comic books, science fiction, role-playing games, pretty much anything nerdy. How nerdy, you might wonder. I think you put it best when the movie Iron Man 2 was released. You posted online, I would drive a steamroller through a field of babies to get to that movie. That reminds me of the day we did the Avengers movie marathon at AMC. 6 movies back to back, 14 hours straight. By the end, my butt was numb. Now it's jacked up on popcorn and Dr. Pepper. We had a blast! And our kids were so jealous. Our children adored you, David. You could see it in their shining faces. They loved playing Dungeons and Dragons with you so much, they knew you better by your alternate persona, Shadow Dragon. When they arrived for the summer, all we heard was, when is Shadow coming? When is Shadow coming? Until my wife Susan finally blurted, did you come to see Shadow or did you come to see Mommy? David, you shine brightest when my life and family came apart at the seams. When you couldn't hold us together, you held us separately. You are the one that warned me that those who had promised to help me were the ones trying to destroy me. You had known such vile betrayal before, and you made sure I was not alone. And that is the greatest kindness anyone has ever done for me. You once told me this statement hit you hard. You can easily judge the character of a man by how he treats those who can do nothing for him. But by that measure, David, you had more character in your left foot than any 10 people here now. See, I was there when you met Kelly. She was being thrown out on the street, unemployed and penniless. Though you yourself were destitute, buried in debt, and had witnessed my debacle, you took her in. You fed her, you gave her a place to sleep, you got her a job. And yet that morning, try as she might, Kelly could do nothing for you. I can hear you saying, I'm sorry. But then I hear the same response that you gave so often. You are not sorry, you are awesome. David, it's because you are awesome that we hurt. It's because you're awesome that you shine so bright. It's because you're awesome that our lives are better for having known you. For all the late nights and long talks. For all the games won and lost. For all the good times. And especially the bad. David, I love you. I miss you. And I thank you. When I picked Richard up from school that afternoon, first thing he says to me is, "How's Shadow?" So of course I choked up. Shadow's dead. When I got home, I held my son for a long time as we both cried. I said to him, "Just please always remember, I love you." And he answered, "I will."
Timers, can we have a minute on the clock, please? Contestant number 3, Julia Kaufman. Middle age revelation. Middle age revelation, Julia Kaufman.
Can I see a show of hands of those of you between the ages of 40 and 60 years old?
Is that fair?
Thank you. Now, those that raised your hand, raise your hand if you feel middle-aged. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share with you my middle-age revelation. At the beginning of every year, I have my physical and annual checkup. This year was no different. I went in, I had my exam, and my blood work drawn. It was a result of the blood work when things went wrong. The results of the blood work showed I was menopausal. Menopausal. Menopausal? I looked at my doctor, I said, "I don't think so." The definition says change in life. My life hasn't changed. I feel just fine. The other part of the word sounds like mental pause. Well, I may have some memory lapses, but I can assure you I don't have any mental pauses. The results of this doctor's appointment and the fact it was January, the month of resolutions, had me doing my own self-evaluation. I did a physical and a mental check. Mentally, I felt fine. My life hasn't changed. I feel good. Everything's great. When I did my physical evaluation, I looked in the mirror, and in closer inspection, I said, I might not be as physically fit as I have been in the past. Well, I decided I was going to get physically fit. I was going to get in shape. And at the same time, so happens I get this promotional email that says a free 4-week beta eye boot camp. It guaranteed you lose 10 pounds in 4 weeks. I said, great, sign me up. I went to my first class. The reality of what I signed up for hit me like a tank. I have never been in this much pain since I gave birth to my second child. Every muscle, in fact, muscles I never knew I had, hurt so bad. I was in so much pain that I had to go to the handicap stall in order to use a handrail to get The fact that it said I boot camp, I think should have been a clue of what I was getting myself into, but no. I did what any survivalist would do at that point. I phoned a friend. I told my friend Maria Elena, let me tell you about a great proposition. I gotta tell you about this 4-week free camp where you lose 10 pounds. And she did what any true friend would do in true friend fashion. She said, what are you up to? I said, no, really. Let me tell you about this great program that you lose 10 pounds in 4 weeks. All you have to do is go to iBoot Camp for 3 to 4 times a week and try this paleo nutrition plan. It is not a diet. You can eat all the protein, vegetables, and fruit that you want. You just can't have any wheat products, dairy, sweets, sugar. Isn't it great? Well, some small miracle, or the fact that she was a true friend, and she saw the desperation in my eyes, she joined me. Through our sweat and tears, we got through it. Let me tell you a little bit about this iBoot Camp, though, just to give you a visual. I learned that I have more moves than I've ever thought possible. We did push-ups, we did lifts, we did kettlebell swings, we did, anybody heard of a burpee? How about a TRX? I learned some great terminology. The coach said something to me that got me through. He said, there is no such thing as try. You're either going to do it or you don't. Well, through that friend and that coach's motivation, we did, in fact, lose 10 pounds in 4 weeks. I had a mental pause. And through that and the fact that I had a middle-age revolution and motivation, and through the fact my friend joined me, we did what we accomplished. Middle-aged, it's just a number, Mr. Contest Master.
Contestant number 4. No, I'm just kidding. Let's have 2 minutes, please, on the clock. Simon. Judges are instructed to complete their ballots. Please sign them, otherwise it's all for naught. Put them in their envelopes and hold them for collection by the ballot counters. The timers, please develop your report to the Chief Judge. judges, ballot counters are collecting their information. Let's bring up the contestants and thank you one more time. Please help me welcome Susan Letchford. Stephen Morgan. We have certificates for them.
We only had one. They said both. I didn't.
Okay, we'll get them later.
Yeah, it said. Yeah, it said international speak and table topics one. So.
We got it.
We are.
Let's interview our contestants for a second. Isn't that fun? I bet they're saying, "Why me?" Let's start with Julia. Julia, what has Toastmasters done for you?
Oh, I like that question. Toastmasters has done a whole gamut of things for me. It probably the biggest things Toastmasters done. Not only has it helped me in terms of being able to get in front of an audience and speak somewhat coherently, the people really, number one, is the people I've met in this room, Steve and Suzanna, the whole group in here, has just opened my world to new friendships and just relationships and the stories you hear. And, you know, it's heartfelt. Oh, I'm about to cry now. The career-wise, the thing that Toastmasters is, I credit it to, no doubt, is when I got a promotion from a manager to a director. And it's through the confidence that I received through Toastmasters, I credit for getting that promotion.
Steve Morgan, would you like to say what Toastmasters has done for you?
Lots of things along the way. In many ways, I've described it as one of the best therapies you can really do. But what probably showed why I keep doing it after 15 years was actually when David had died. It happened on Tuesday, funeral was Saturday. And I had a full-time job to deal with and the rest of it, and I didn't have time to even sit down and start putting anything pen to paper till the night before. So that evening, though I was writing it for a long stretch, knowing I had to get up and give eulogy on the next day, was not easy. But it was many of those years of experience which helped me to put a structure to it. To remember to put in the humorous stories and the memories and to break it up so that it'd still be worth listening to and as good a memorial as put it. And then when I got there, realizing that I was going to have to take what I'd written and essentially cut it in half on the spot because I'd written that much. And then get up and read it. And this was not one of those where I was going to be able to do all the gestures or whatnot. It was going to be, I'm lucky if I'm going to be able to read the paper. But having done this made all the difference in making that possible.
Same question.
Why me? Toastmasters has probably helped me in more ways than I even know or recognize. I've been in this club for 6 years now. I just did the math the other day. And each time dues come up, I think, should I renew? I'm kind of already speaking. I've done the manuals. But then I think, I'm terrified of not having Stephanie and Julia and Stephen and Erika, all of these great supportive people who are all so different, and hearing all these stories that broaden my life experience by experiencing how somebody else sees the world, and that brings so much value to just who I am as a person that I can't imagine not handing over a check every 6 months and saying thank you and feel free to charge me more.
It's the best money I've ever spent. I'd like to thank our judges. Let's They're anonymous, but let's give them a round of applause. I'm not sure what else we need to do at this point. Are we going to take another break? Or George, you have something you'd like to say? No. Do we want to give out do you have the certificates for the ballot counters and the sergeant at arms?
I do, but some are out still.
Okay, we'll wait for them. Yes, ma'am?
Looks like they're done.
Looks like they're wrapped.
Yes, let's go over the schedule for next week.
He's out there too.
They're done.
Contest master
Should we
table topic.
take a small break?
No, we need to stay in and complete, but ask Stephen, he's the business chair.
We didn't have any specific business that needed to be handled at this time. Jorge, do you happen to have the schedule on?
I have it.
You have it, okay.
Yeah,
Want me to
he
go?
needs them to announce them. There it is.
For next week, March 4th, we go back to our regular format after 2 weeks off. Scheduled is Toastmaster Alexandra. Our scheduled speakers include Arvon, Jeff, Campagna, and Gus. None of them are here. Topics Master Diane. You get to hand out the question instead of having to answer it. Stephanie is General Evaluator. Oh, that's what it says. The scheduled evaluators are Joe, Jorge, and Erika. You're all here. You all up for that next week?
I won't be here.
Not Joe, okay.
Can I take Arvon's spot?
Okay, you'd rather speak.
Yes, please.
Susanna, you're listed as grammarian.
I won't be here.
No, Susanna. I can be timer. Oh, boy. And then,
You need a general evaluator.
yes. And then Ernst is listed as odd counter. We need general evaluator, grammarian, and is there anyone who'd want to grab a speaking slot if it becomes available? Ernst would like to speak if you're there. Then we would need an odd counter too. Any others wish to jump in?
Sorry, tough job.
Mike, Paul,
I'll do it all.
Carrie, Mike one's odd counter.
Good. Yes.
Carrie what?
General evaluator.
Carrie for general evaluator. And Paul, did you want something?
I'll see if I'm here and then if there's a
Okay.
timer or something.
All right, that covers what we.
I'm so sorry. I have a commitment on the 4th. I cannot be an evaluator.
Okay, we'll see if we need the other evaluator if we have no speakers.
Okay.
I'll probably be here, but
Thank you.
Voluntold.
That covers what we needed out of you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had some functionaries we'd like to thank, and this takes a lot of work for those of you that have not done it yet, and soon will, hopefully. Please help me thank our Chief Judge, Jorge.
Speech.
I should give this to Stephanie. She helped me out.
Carrie Hurd, our timer. Jody. Nancy. And we had another timer, Jorge. You're welcome. Thank you. You did all the hard work. Is there any other business that we need to take care of? You all ready to go home? Or would you like to know who the winners are?
Yeah, that might.
Okay, good, good. Our table topics contest. Our runner-up, number 3. Number 2? Okay. Thank you.
Oh, are we announcing 3? I'm sorry, are we announcing 3?
No.
We have 7.
No.
We just do second and first.
Okay. Can I have a little drum roll? Do we do that here? Yeah, we do. Please help me welcome Stephen Morgan. And number one in table topics, please help me welcome Julia Kaufman. Would you like, are we going to get pictures at the end? Or?
Sure.
Yeah.
Before they run out the door.
Did you say at the end? Oh.
At the end. At the end. That's the.
Our number two contestant, number two winner of the International Speech Contest. Help me welcome up Suzanna Ledford. And the winner of the International Speech Contest, going to the area contest. Please help me welcome up Stephen Morgan. George, do you have anything else to say?
Look forward to a good contest at the end of March.
Yes. Great contest. And we'd also like to thank one of our other dignitaries, past dignitaries. Help me welcome, thank our friend Stephanie Bonnie Burns.
We have two more certificates. One for our contest master, Eugene Kowalski.
Thank you.
For all our hard work.
Is there any other business we need to take care of at this time?
No, we can end on time.
We can end on time? Is that a good thing?
Yeah. Very good thing.
Yeah.
Cool, let's end on time. Call this contest officially ended.
Julia, Suzanna, you want to go?
Maybe.
But you're not. I'm supposed to throw it away.
Have you been told? Make them answer you by Friday. Don't wait till Monday because it's a pain in the neck trying to track people down. You want
That's brilliant. Listen back for Stephanie, she's so important.
but especially if you're working out of the advanced manuals.
Yeah, we're ready
Want the
now.
manual, want the project.
Oh, it's Stephanie. Should be right back more. Yeah.
And you want the instruction. Don't let them go with it. You can turn it, we can twist it, and then make something for them. So, I got it, thank you.
That's one way to put it. It's accurate.
This is good, this is nice.
You can zoom in enough so you don't get the back.
Yes, the project. Manual.
I could speak
Around the process, the outside of the circle.
And the objectives of the project. And they bye-bye, Erika. And yes, you're gonna announce, you're gonna send it out and say, you know, our theme will be.
I get
She's so ask for an appropriate word of the day from the
Well, she's the one who wants to make it.
And the grammarian gives you that word of the day with the definition, the part of speech, and who's in a sentence. And you put that right on the agenda, that way you don't have to. I'll send you the
Nice meeting you.
okay, and touch base with her too, so she can, but there is a template, and two different agendas. I use one time. Most of the people use the one that we use. The same one I use. Yes. How'd you like it? We forgot. We have a His first time. Very first Toastmaster meeting. Thank you. What did you think?
Suzanne, I like that steer, I like that motivation.
Thank you.
Remember that today.
My own personal thing I'm working on.
Yeah.
Suzanna looks good. The book says.
Yeah, get rid of them.
That's how I
Visual.
Too much. Let it go.
Take care of yourself.
Check it out, and then you won't have to pay anymore until October. Yes.
Does everybody know, like, the topic person? Is that what you do? And then you have to talk about it, and then you ask questions on that topic? You don't have to talk about it, you just come up with different questions. Because I know that people have come up and said stuff, and then like now they usually come up and say, oh, talk about what. That's why I say a little bit about.
There might be a little bit of entertainment. Or they might say, this tabletop theme that Toastmaster picked, blah, 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 and then you ask your questions. It's not a lot of planning. No, the Toastmaster picks a theme, and then they'll tell you the theme, and based on that theme, you come up with a question.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'll send you remind them to bring it.
Yeah, we all have our baggage. I was expecting to
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't care.
I'm going to have to recreate that if I can.
Yeah, you will do.
I'll come to a podcast to do it. Doing this thing. I found spot.
And then, you know,
That was pretty brave that are jumping up there.
I see you one more.
Might as well.
This is not the first time I've been
Maybe it's just, you know, to go the top two. Yeah. I got a certificate.
But just briefly.
You survived it.
I was not sure right away.
Yes, and it's not hard. Just shut up.
Touch your heart, that always.
I'll bring some decorations. I have.
Stephanie.
Yes, sir. How'd you do?
Did I need to have, I had them fill out for a table topic, but, so is it mainly these?
They need to see the eligibility. Everybody fills it out. And
Even for table topics?
even though it's not originality, they still have to, they're certifying that they are an eligible member. So all speakers get these now. And when they're you know, speaking on international, then they select down.
Keep it open if you want.
See, we've got all for all contests.
Well, I do hope that you win both.